Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about carbohydrate counting. I have actually adapted this for Nigerians living with type 1 diabetes and also persons living with type 2 diabetes using basal bolus insulin. Carbohydrate counting, honestly, it doesn't have to feel like rocket science, especially in Africa where our meals don't come with any nutritional labels. Today, I just want to break down exactly how to count carbohydrates using local Nigerian foods, and then we're going to incorporate the use of simple tools that you already have, like your hand, plate, and your eyes. By the end of this video, you will confidently know how to estimate all the carbs in your meals, like your fufu, your rice, beans, yam, moi-moi, plantain, and many more other foods using these methods that I have just mentioned that will work in a low medium income setting. Let's start off by defining what carbohydrate counting really is. So that term just simply means knowing how many carbs of carbohydrates are in the food that you're going to eat. So why is this important for persons living with diabetes that treat with insulin, particularly if you're using the basal bolus insulin regimen? Because carbs will always raise your blood sugar levels the most amongst all other food groups. So you need to know how to match your carbohydrates to the dose of insulin that you're going to use to get the accurate dose so that your blood sugar doesn't go too high after you've had a carb meal. Now, let's take some simple examples of meals that we have back home in Africa and in most of the world. I'll start with a slice of bread. So a thin slice of bread um, actually contains approximately 15 grams of carbohydrate, and one medium-sized apple actually contains about 15 grams of carbs, and half cup of cooked rice, approximately 22 grams of carbs. But the challenge here in our African meals is that they don't come sliced or measured into cups or labeled in grams. So this video is going to fix this. In Nigeria, and I actually presume in most African countries, our home cooked meals are actually served in very unpredictable portions, like one big swallow, one big bowl of swallow. I know my Nigerian fans will know what that is, or like 5 spoons of rice, or one ladle of beans. This is every mom actually putting in her own magic and feeding you up to put on weight. That's like the ideology. That's how the portions are being served. But is this right? No. So in the context of carbohydrate counting in a developing country like Nigeria, I would use simple estimation techniques that are based on portion size instead of strict measurements. So now let's talk about like 3 very easy African carb counting tools that you already have. So number 1 is the hand method. So this is your hand. It's a part of your body. So you start off with this. This is your hand method. So when you clench your fist, this is equivalent to 1 cup. And then your palm, that is your palm, is equivalent to a portion of protein. And then your thumb, you can use that for measuring fats, oil, and margarine. Number 2 is the plate method. So this method actually involves the use of your plate as a measuring tool. So half of this plate, half of it will contain all your vegetables. When you divide the other half, you have 2 1/4s. The first quarter is for carbs, and then the second quarter is for protein. And then the next one is the spoon and ladle guide. So in most Nigerian kitchens, one heaped cooking spoon of rice is actually approximately 20 to 25 grams of carbs, and a ladle of beans is approximately 18 to 20 grams of carbs, and one wrap of moi-moi, approximately 15 grams of carbs. So now let's look at the carb values of our common Nigerian foods. So the first one, a bowl of eba or gari would contain approximately 40 to 50 grams of carbs. And our fufu, between 35 and 40 grams. Amala, 30 to 35 grams of carbs. And then our pounded yam. I love pounded yam, but the carb count there is crazy. So it contains approximately 60 grams of carbohydrate, and that's like the highest amongst all our swallows. And then we have the tuwo masara. This is 35 to 40 grams of carbohydrates. And then the tuwo shinkafa, which is made from rice, contains approximately 45 grams of carbs. So if you're quite unsure about all these measurements, use your clenched fist. So your clenched fist, this is your clenched fist. Use your clenched fist to estimate, or you can use a simple electronic scale if you have got one. Now let's move on to measuring rice and grains. So 1 cooking spoon, this is the cooking spoon I'm talking about that you can use, will give you approximately 20 to 25 grams if you use this to measure your rice. So for your jollof rice, one of this is approximately 28 grams. And for your fried rice, one serving of this is approximately 25 grams as well. And your couscous, for those of you who love couscous, is about 20 grams of carbs. So if you eat like 3 of this, of either your jollof rice, your white rice, you know that you are going over your normal estimated allowed quantity to effectively manage your blood sugar levels, which is over like 60 to 75 grams, depending. Some people might decide to put some extra, so that's why I gave that 60 to 75 grams. So when you've got rice and plantain mixed together, you know that one of this with your white rice is 28 grams, and then you add your plantain, about 6 of that should give you approximately 30 grams. So when you add that up together, you know how many grams of carbs you're eating. And your beans and plantain mix, have in mind that is approximately 35 grams to 40 grams of carbs. But I need you to have at the back of your mind that the beans, the black-eyed beans, still has some carbohydrates in it. So for all my plantain lovers, now let's look at what plantain looks like when we fry, boil it, and how many grams it contains. So I'm going to start off with the fried plantain. So you have a medium-sized plantain, finger of plantain. You can get approximately 6 or 7 slices from a medium size. So when you fry that, you'll be having approximately 30 to 35 grams of carbs. And then one medium-sized boiled plantain will give you 40 grams. For the yam lovers, one thin slice of boiled yam is approximately 30 grams. So if you're going to have 2, so that's 60 grams. I need you to remember that yam is very carbohydrate dense, so you need to watch your portions and always pair with green vegetables. Now, let's sit back and look at our Nigerian staples. So, if you're having 2 slices of agege bread, that's approximately 45 grams of carbs. And the Quaker oats, if you're going to have Quaker oats after you have cooked it, half a cup, that's approximately 20 grams of carbs. And if you're going to have pap or akamu, for my akamu lovers, 1 cup of that already prepared is going to give you roughly 45 grams to 50 grams of carbs. So moving on, let's move on to our local snacks. I never left any of those out because me, I eat whatever I want to eat, and I'm strictly Nigerian meals to the core. So my favorite, puff puff. So you have 1 ball of puff puff that gives you approximately 15 grams. And then you have our chin chin. So a small handful of chin chin gives you roughly 25 grams. And then the meat pie, medium size, will give you 40 grams of carbs. Now I'm going to put real meal examples together just to give you a rough idea what I've been talking about and how you can count your carbs. So the first one we're going to do is the eba plus egusi soup and 3 pieces of meat. So let's start the calculation. 1 fistful of eba, approximately 45 grams, and then we have a bowl of egusi soup will give you approximately 5 grams of carbohydrate. The 3 pieces of meat, strictly protein, so no carbs. So we have a total carbohydrate content of 50 grams. So if you're eating a fistful of eba with egusi soup and 3 pieces of meat, you have at the back of your mind that it's 50 grams of carbs that you're eating. Now let's move on to example 2. Jollof rice plus beans and plantain. So 1 spoon of jollof rice will give you approximately 28 grams of carbs. And then you've got 3 pieces of plantain, which will give you 15 grams. Then you have 2 spoons of steamed ugu or spinach. That equates to 0. So we have a total of 43 grams. So remember, we are calculating the carb content of the meal, and likes of the vegetable food group don't contain any form of carbohydrate, so you don't count that as well. Now let's move on to example 3 for our yam and sauce and egg sauce lovers. So 2 slices of boiled yam will give you approximately 60 grams of carbs, and then the 1 spoon of the egg sauce that you have fried, 3 grams of carbs. So we have a total of 63 grams. Yes, we have a total of 63 grams. Moving forward, let me actually give you tips on how to avoid over or under counting. Number 1, do not guess. Estimate with your hand or spoon. Do not guess. Estimate with your hand or spoon. And number 2, if you're quite unsure, undercount slightly and correct with your glucose strengths after the meal. And number 3, high fat meals, especially fried plantain, moi-moi, akara, they actually delay glucose spikes. So you need to watch your post-meal glucose readings. And number 4, it's always good, I've always said it in most of my videos, keep a notebook recording of your carbohydrate meals against your blood sugar trends. So my take-home message today is carb counting, it doesn't have to feel foreign at all. With the right tools such as your hand, your cooked spoon, you can actually take control of your diabetes confidently. Share this with someone in Nigeria who needs practical diabetes education using foods that they know and they are comfortable with, I have tried this. It has worked perfectly well for me. So I want you all to know that carb counting does not have to feel foreign because you live in Nigeria. It's actually doable. We've got all the tools that we need to make it work for us back home in Nigeria. So remember, I need you to hit that subscribe button, like, and please share. I would like to hear your comments about this video, what you think. If you're unsure about anything, if you've got questions, please drop in the comment sections. And once again, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Thank you for watching. Bye.